contradictory idiots.
Hey.
Every one of you stupid.
Hey.
You're all stupid. He's smarter than all of you because he makes no claim to know God. All he knows is dog.
Can I ask you a question? Do you not think there's a creator though?
He did it again. Why are you asking me if you can ask me?
Because you won't let him talk.
You don't seem too receptive.
Yes.
Oh my God! Why do you do that?
Do you not think there's a
Break
creator?
the cycle, brainwashed. Break the cycle. Think for yourself.
Let's talk about it then. Then we're gonna dagger you up and then we can talk about it.
On the block with the ox, talk about it. We're prepared to give an answer. Talk about it. See, we know what we believe. Talk about it. Yelling precept. Bring it out, bring it out. On the block with the ox, talk about it. Prepared to give an answer. Talk about it. See, we know what we believe. Talk about it. Yelling precept. Bring it out, yeah. Bring it out.
Take care.
All right.
So here's what I'll say. Hospitals, from my understanding, do treat everyone.
Right.
It's a big caveat.
Right.
Is that you end up getting a bill
Right.
at the end that's decided by the insurance company.
Right.
And it's pre-decided based on either A, whichever insurance company you hold. So
Yes.
it's all predetermined.
Yes.
Or you end up having no insurance and you pay out of pocket, and they can decide whatever they want the price.
Right.
And it's been proven with hospitals, they will, like, let's say you don't pay your bill, right? Let's say you don't have insurance, you don't pay your bill. Well, they'll start coming down. They're like, oh yeah, we'll take 20K, we'll take 10, we'll take 5. Eventually, to where it's like it's somewhat payable, right?
Right.
Which is actually counterintuitive to how a lot of things work nowadays, right? Like, for instance, you buy a house, mortgage with interest, right? Your credit card, you can't afford enough for food, right? You can barely eat because things are rough, difficult. Put it on a credit card. Now, if you don't pay that off by the time, you pay interest, right? All these things end up. Case point, it's counterintuitive. Like the amount you owe decays, as opposed to increasing.
Okay.
And the fact to do that, it shows like initially it didn't need to cost that much, like the healthcare and stuff like that.
Are you religious at all?
Yeah,
you are.
I'm a Christian.
Is that what made you stop? And
Yeah,
okay. So the reason I asked
I know
this.
I look like a fat or whatever. I look like that. I get that.
No, you're fine.
If I had shorter hair, I'd be looking.
You're
I
good.
look like a cop.
So we come out here and we teach the Bible, right?
Yeah. I saw it. Yeah.
The reason I ask you how you would feel about a hospital that is not inclusively or actively inclusive, trying to help everyone, and shunning people because of what demographic they're in, is because most Christians believe that the Bible is all inclusive, right?
Yeah. So you're saying Christians engage in that behavior, or?
No. What I would say is that the Bible, apart from Christianity, is not inclusive of all people.
So when you say the Bible apart from Christianity, what part are you talking about particularly?
I believe Christianity, mainstream Christianity, the religion, is not the same as the Bible.
I 100% agree, brother.
Okay.
100% agree.
Okay.
Because I think people have deviated over a long time span from what actually is truly what to be like, which is to be like Jesus, right?
Okay. Right.
You act like Jesus, love thy neighbor.
Right. So
all that.
My position is, after some years of studying the Bible and history of the Bible.
I've read a lot of history.
Okay.
I've read, all the Gospel, Genesis, Revelations. I think I read Isaiah.
Okay.
I've read a couple books. I've read like backwards before, but I've read a good deal of it. Some of the critical,
Who are the main characters, as far as nation-wise, that you find in the Bible and that you've been reading?
There's 13 tribes of Israel.
So Israel is one nation.
I have bad memory, but
that's fine.
I think it's like Jacob. So there's too many damn names.
No, that's fine. I'm
familiar with the general idea.
So from Genesis to Revelation, the nation that is represented in the Bible or illustrated throughout the Bible is the nation of Israel, right?
Correct.
the 12 tribes that descend from this man named Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. This book is about these people predominantly, and then it illustrates how these people interact with other nations, how they interact with their gods, so on and so forth. Like I say, my position is that this Bible is exclusively written for the nation of Israel, and it just includes people as far as how these people will interact with others, basically. So let's say the promises, the benefits that come from this book are for the nation of Israel. That would be my view that I believe is in opposition with mainstream Christianity, right?
So,
Your wheels turn.
by the way,
Yep.
I would be willing to go really deep on this if I wasn't being recorded, okay?
Okay.
I'm pretty educated.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
So,
So, you believe in Jesus
I
Christ?
believe in Jesus Christ. Yeah.
During Jesus's ministry, he was targeting to teach and to basically his love, his sacrifices
Right.
were for the nation of Israel, right? And I would say the prophets were the same. The apostles did the same thing, right? Give me Matthew, if you don't mind, I'll read you why I say these things,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Matthew 15:24.
Matthew 15, verse 24.
This is Jesus Christ.
But he answered and said,
Actually, start up at like 21,
I got you.
wherever the conversation starts.
Then, verse 21, then Jesus went thence and departed into the coast of Tyre and Sidon.
Right.
And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast.
So this is an interaction between Jesus Christ, the disciples, and a woman of a different nation of people, of Canaan, right? Go ahead.
Canaan, if I remember properly, Canaan's extremely debaucherous population.
They can be. They have been, right? Right, go ahead.
And cried unto him, saying, have mercy on me, O Lord, thy son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with a devil.
So she acknowledges that she knows who this man is. He's the promised Messiah. She knows that he can help her if he wants to. And she has a problem where her daughter is being tormented by demons, right? Go ahead.
But he answered her not a word.
In this interaction, the first thing he does in response to her is ignores her. He doesn't acknowledge her, right? Go ahead.
But he answered her not a word. And his disciples came and besought him, saying,
Because he ignored her, now his disciples come into this exchange. Go ahead.
send her away.
And instead of telling Jesus to answer her or help her out, they say, send her away. Right? Go ahead.
Send her away.
These are men that have left their old lives and are now following Jesus, learning from him about how to conduct themselves in life now, right? Jesus supposing to be an example of how to live a perfect life. Them learning about this perfect life did not tell him to engage with her or help her, but instead told him to send her away from us, right? Go ahead.
Send her away, for she crieth after us.
Right, go ahead.
But he answered and said,
and then his answer after all this is,
I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
His response at the end is that I am not inclusively to come help all people. I am sent for this people that is broken and need a physician, right? I am sent to the people that I am built for,
Yeah.
right?
How do you interpret that?
As prophesied throughout the Bible, a savior for the nation of Israel,
Yeah.
right? A mediator for the nation of Israel, a king of the Jews and of the Israelites. And I don't believe that he has ever been for anybody else. So Catholicism means universal. Christianity has taken this idea.
Catholicism itself has been extremely corrupted for.
Of course. I mean,
period of time.
anything can be,
Yeah,
but
like it's been like, and yeah, it's been extremely corrupt.
and like we both agreed, Christianity as a whole has deviated from the source that they get a lot of their ideas from, which is the Bible.
Yeah,
right?
I would agree with that. I would say more often than not, I feel like the whole world has. I feel like everyone's gotten a lot more bitter, callous towards each other.
Yeah.
They're a lot
a lot less loving, a lot less, more selfish. Yeah.
I would agree with that. But I mean, that's all prophesied.
Of course it is. Of course. The love of many shall wax cold,
I mean,
right?
I think you are going to see during these hard times where people are going to, they're going to start skewing. They're going to basically just say see the light, and they're going to start.
Right. So, just to help you understand exactly the mission or the reason we come out here and we teach the Bible, we study the Bible, so on and so forth, is because these people on this sign, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, are the Israelites of the Bible. We can trace their history through archaeology and anthropology and things of this nature. And the prophecies in this book that determine who the nation of Israel is in the last days when these people would need to come back to their identity, that these are the people of the book, right? And that there are certain things that these people would need to learn before the end of the world comes, before Judgment Day happens on earth. So we come to teach the Bible. I mean, I haven't asked you what your nationality is.
I'm just American, man.
Okay.
I mean, obviously I'm from Europe, but
okay.
But I'm just.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. As far as Americans go and Europeans, your nation of people have had, there's been serious conflicts with Europeans and so-called Israelites, right? Throughout the annals of time, throughout history, right? Even
it's about the 1500s.
Well, even before that.
Well, no, prior also, but I think 1500s when stuff really.
Well, we can even go back into the Greeks and the Romans where Europeans were ruling these nations, and the conflict was back even.
Yeah, no, you're actually correct.
And even before that, the Bible says that we were brothers at one point in time, right? Twin brothers that were warring from the time we were in the womb of our mother, and it hasn't stopped, basically, right? So in the Bible, so-called Europeans and the Israelites are the two main characters. The protagonists would be the Israelites. The antagonists, more times than not,
is that the nation of the South?
Esau, yes sir, yes sir. So, and I won't say just you, but the Bible says that every nation of people has, at some point in time, become enemies to the nation of Israel, right? And Esau would be the main or the spearhead for that opposition. With that on the table, it starts to paint a picture that this Bible cannot be inclusive of all people if God is for this one nation of people, right?
Yeah. So here's what I would say. So,
okay.
I've looked a little bit into the actual lineages of. I'd be curious to hear. You're saying about anthropology, all that. I'd be curious.
Yes, sir.
I'm not, actually deducing back where the people came from my understanding, it's very difficult. I feel like some of the, generally speaking, the Phoenicians and stuff, they're one of the, I think they're referenced a couple times. They're on
Tyrese Zidane,
in that area, yeah. But what I was going to say is from my understanding, that's all Old Testament stuff. And in the New Testament, when Christ says, it says, "Love thy neighbor."
Right.
And for other people who are peers
Mm-hmm.
to not be your quote unquote neighbor, I mean, I feel like that's just incorrect. You know what I'm saying? Like I would argue at least.
So how would you?
Because I would argue all that was written like way back, dude. That's written way before 0 AD, before Christ even came. Like all that, like I mean, and you already
as
know,
far as love your neighbor.
Yeah, God numerous times came to forgive people manually. You know, he flooded the earth. He did all this, like. It was rough. You've heard the stories, you know what I'm saying? And obviously, nothing's perfect nowadays, either, right? But basically, God ended up realizing, hey, no one's perfect, but through acting in accordance with Jesus, in my opinion, if you truly abide and act like how Jesus would, you would service all people. That's where I think I fundamentally.
You would service all people.
I think you service all people.
Okay.
And all people are your neighbors. And I think where it gets complex at is where people make mistakes, or they have shortcomings, or they let their emotions get in the way, or there's confusion, right? Like let's say someone's really confused about something, and then they end up taking a decision that they think is the best for themselves at that time.
Okay.
Is there anything wrong with that? Like let's say theoretically, I was. Let's say someone breaks into my house because it literally started. Let's say theoretically. Okay. Is that wrong for him? Is that wrong for that guy? He's just trying to live.
That's a good question.
No one provided for him.
All right.
Okay. So he's making the right decision. So now we both get put in a weird scenario where it's like, what if I think like, you know what I'm saying?
So perspective.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I feel like from what I understand, I'm really big on intent. So what is the actual intent? And not intent through words, intent through actions. So if you actually show that you actually care and you actually basically put your, I like the term money, but you put your time and your effort that you believe in, I feel like that's how it should be. And I feel like also, there's a lot of people who say they believe in Christ or whatever.
But their actions don't show it.
To the best of your ability,
living like that.
Live like that? No, I don't think so. So I think maybe in that case, that's where I disagree with you. I feel like, and I could understand how you think that. Hey,
I'm sorry. Could you restate why you don't believe what I?
Because you said that. Because also, and I do know, like the Sal, like that's always been referenced as. They've been referenced. My understanding, like really not me. I feel like I don't exactly know whose nation that is, but what I've noticed, at least for me living, okay, there's good people amongst all demographics, people with pure hearts.
Okay.
And I feel like that's generally my belief.
Okay.
Right. Maybe you disagree. Maybe you're like, hey, like I've read this. This is what I believe. I believe that. Totally fine. You know
okay.
But me, fundamentally, what I believe, as I said, is that I believe that anyone who just loves thy neighbor, like actually stays true to that, that fixes everything.
Okay.
And also, it's an interesting thing I found out the other day. I thought about this. If everyone does love thy neighbor,
it fixes damn near everything.
It's that, but also theoretically, things can grow infinitely. Because think about it. If you work together, everything that gets big is people working together. Right? It's something, the whole pie grows for everyone.
Right.
But when people start playing zero-sum games, it's nothing grows. Like the overall pie doesn't grow. It's just, hey, it's a transfer from this person to this person.
So I have a question. Just to simplify it, what is your definition for neighbor when Jesus tells us to love our neighbor?
That's literally any other person.
Any other person.
Any other person.
Okay.
Actually, that's actually a bad definition. I would say that because I argue you should even love like everything. You should love everything. Like you shouldn't treat. Let's say you.
Is there ever a time for hate?
I think it's okay.
Okay.
To hate.
Okay.
I think that's. But here's where people get fucked up is that they start labeling people not in line with what God believes, which is people having bad intentions and being evil and wanting to enact malicious activities.
So instead of the action, you're blaming people when that shouldn't be how it is what you're saying.
I'm saying if the person has malicious intent in their heart and they truly did, I think.
Then it's okay to hate that?
I think it's okay to hate that.
Okay.
I think it's.
Is it okay to hate that person or just their actions?
Actually, that's good. That's a very good question. Very, very good question. Because that person, believe it or not, may not be entirely evil. They might have just made a bad mistake on that day.
That's true.
Or they might be 10% good, right?
Okay.
I feel like everyone, we all make mistakes, we all do bad things. But in my opinion, you've got to try to be as best as possible within your capacity to do as much good as possible and be in line with those intentions. So that was actually a really good question you asked, because people like, oh, like, you just flat out label people that's full of evil. It's like, no, like, it's a mixture. And there's people also who do horrible things, and they end up becoming good people because they've seen what that leads to, and they're truly changed. Their heart has changed, and they become different people. And the way I view it is that if you're a general, right, and you've a guy that's willing to lay down his life for you, you can tell him to fuck off. No, you're not. You want as many people who are going to be with you, right? That's God, in my opinion. God wants as many people who abide by His rules and who, are in line with His vision.
Okay.
And that's my opinion.
Okay.
So,
I believe in balance, as what I've been taught from the Bible. It seems to me through biblical teachings that love and hate have a time and a place.
Yeah.
War and peace have a time and a place. I would say a more biblically accurate definition for neighbor is your nation of people. I believe that Jesus, when he told us to love your neighbor, he was teaching us about the laws that we had already had, right? From Moses, the commandments that God gave us are to love our neighbor, right? Leviticus 19:17.
Leviticus 19, verse 17.
Start at 15.
Verse 15. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment.
So we're told in the laws of God, he gives us a way we should conduct ourselves, right? A standard for what's righteous, the do's and don'ts, right? What's right and what's wrong. He says, don't be an unrighteous judge. Judge things righteously, right? Go ahead.
Thou shalt not respect the persons of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty.
Don't be partial in judgment. If somebody is wrong, they're wrong. If somebody is right, they're right. It doesn't matter how you feel about it. Your opinion doesn't matter as far as judgment goes, right? Go ahead.
But in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor.
Right, go ahead. So there's that word. It says, in righteousness you should judge your neighbor. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people.
It says, don't be going around gossiping about all the things you hear, right? You're messy, and that causes issues. Go ahead.
Neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor.
And it says, your neighbor, again, using this word, if they're in trouble, don't stand idly by and don't do anything if their life is at stake. Step in and do the right thing, right? Go ahead.
I am the Lord. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
Now it says, we're commanded not to hate our brothers in our heart, right? Go ahead.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him.
One way to love your people is to correct them, right? If they're doing wrong or doing something dangerous to themselves or others, try to correct them, right? So don't hate your brother in your heart. Rebuke or correct your neighbor if they're doing something wrong. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
So it says you're not even to hold on to grudges, but using this same context for the word neighbor, it says the children of your people, right? Go ahead.
The children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
But love your neighbor as yourself. So now we have a biblical definition that neighbor specifically in these contexts are the children of your nation of people.
So I have an interesting perspective on that.
Okay.
So I view it almost as we're all on earth, right? Okay. And it's almost like we all share that.
Right.
And if you're to do evil, you are essentially pissing where you sleep at.
Right, 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 right.
And even if you think, hey, it might not affect me,
it definitely does.
It always does.
Definitely
It
does.
always does. So, in my opinion, I think. So we were talking about
Loving your neighbor.
This stuff's it gets really complex. Wait, so you were talking about loving my neighbor, and you were talking about how. Oh yeah, so don't basically piss where you sleep at, whatever, right? Okay. Okay, yeah. So I believe basically we're all here on the earth. We all share it, okay, and
we're all connected.
Yeah, exactly. You piss where you sleep at.
Right.
Fucking everyone, basically.
Right,
okay?
right.
You don't think you are.
Directly or indirectly.
And let's say, I'm like, oh, I only care about my people.
Right.
Eventually, it's gonna come back and bite those people. It always does. Always. It's just the way the world works, man. You can treat people like shit for a super long period of time. Come back and get you, man.
Okay.
That's the reality.
Well, I'm gonna ask you this: is it okay to prioritize your love? Like, if you have, if I have a family, a wife, sons, and daughters, is it wrong for me to prioritize my love, my resources, to help them out before I help anybody else, even if I love other people?
Yeah. So here's what I'd say. I would say every man and woman has a duty to their family. Okay.
Okay. A duty to their family.
And I think if you have a duty to your family and you take care of them, and everyone does that in the community, it's going to make your whole community better.
Okay.
And once your whole community becomes better, you can make, you can.
I agree.
Like make, let's say, it's bigger and bigger and bigger.
I agree.
So I think if everyone holds their commitments true individually, you can do it on like a civilian unit, and then on a communal level, and keep scaling it up. I think here's the issue: is that different people adopt essentially different strategies. So different people believe this. But some people don't give a shit. Okay, they actually don't care about other people.
Okay.
Or whatever, right? And that's where it gets really conflicted. Where you have some people who just don't care. They're actually really evil.
Right.
And people who are somewhat good. And then it's like, okay, what actually ends up happening? Like
conflict.
Some of these people might become callous as a consequence of these people doing that.
Right.
Right? And it's really hard sometimes, to stay.
Sometimes conflict is unavoidable.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And
just because of the bad apples in the group.
Yeah.
Even if everybody else is trying to do the best they can, live a godly, righteous life, there will always be, it seems like there will always be people on the other side that are causing conflicts, causing war, strife, things of this nature.
Yeah.
My question now is, nationally, for Europeans, because that's who you say you come from, I'll ask you as, not to represent everybody of your nation, but to at least think about the nation which you come from, how they interact with every other people group on the earth. There's never been anywhere on the earth that Europeans as a nation, I'm not saying individually, because I believe, like you said, there's good and evil, capacity for good and evil amongst all people in different backgrounds and nations' demographics. But as a nation, every people you ever interact with, you go to war with, you kill, rape, enslave, so on and so forth, colonize, to the point where statistically, you guys have done things that no other nation has proven to be capable of, right? So at that point.
So what instances in particular?
Well, like we said,
I have an idea of a couple of them.
Right.
I just want to hear which ones in particular and like.
What do you mean, which ones in
Different
particular?
ones, for instance, right? Like,
okay.
With like the Crusades, for instance, right?
Okay.
That was from the Islamic Caliphate.
Okay.
Jihad, right?
Okay.
Up through Spain, like through the Iberian Peninsula, up through they basically conquered modern day Jerusalem, right?
Right.
And then they also went up into Southern Europe.
Right.
Like the Slavic states, literally like Slav, like that was derived from basically like
slaves.
Yeah, it was derived from primarily it was like white women taken as slaves.
Right.
The Islamic Caliphate.
Okay.
Okay. So I would say, I mean, and also even some people there might have done unjust killing. In war, you do unjust killing. You could be a right side. The war could be a response. But let's say I barge into someone's house and this guy doesn't have a gun in his hand. Why should I kill him? Why should I kill him? I shouldn't. So that's what I'm saying. It's really complex. It's
Okay.
really crazy. Okay, but I would say in that instance, I would say that was self-defense.
Okay, self-defense and acts of war then. Okay.
I would argue sometimes you have to defend yourself.
Of
Right?
course, of course.
So I'm curious to hear what particular instance you're saying, because from my understanding, every single nation and every single people have been at war, whether it's with, and this happens, you see this all the time. You see people at war
For different
groups,
reasons.
with different
Right.
nations.
Of
You
course,
see it at
of
work,
course.
right? The people at their job. They're like,
Of course.
I hate this guy. Okay? Even whatever, right? Like people end up getting into conflicts.
Of course.
And sometimes even within their own group.
Of course, of course.
So, I would say, and honestly, I don't know. I don't know if the aggregate mass of Europeans
So
is that large, because if it is, people are going to suffer, right? Okay, because guess what?
So
because
let's be
God
specific.
inherently judges based on your heart and your actions. So God
Okay.
will be the judge. That's my opinion.
I agree. I agree.
I don't know. So,
Okay, so
I
specifically,
would like to hear the what instances.
right? Specifically,
Um,
we can use the timeline from the 1500s, 1492.
Yeah.
Just the interaction between the indigenous people here, the Negroes that were brought over on slave ships, and so-called Latinos that take up Central and South America with so-called European contact, right?
Yeah.
These exchanges were of war, bloodshed, rape, robbery, murder, and it was, for the most part, one-sided, right? As far as how these things were initiated. Now, like you say, so-called Negroes and Hispanics at different points in time fought back, defended themselves as best they could, and still lost. But how it was initiated and how it seems to, at least in some capacity, still go on today, your people have committed crimes that they have still never paid for, right? So what do you, if we were to establish judgment, or even to reference what God believes is just for these crimes, what do you think that would look like?
From my understanding, the way it's described biblically is barred entry into heaven. Right?
Okay.
Which heaven
Barred
is,
entry into heaven.
Which
Okay.
heaven is, it's described as being one with God. That's basically the way heaven's described.
Okay.
Okay, that's how, from my understanding, they describe it. So
Okay.
you're barred entry, and that's my understanding.
Okay. So in the laws of God, which we were reading, part of those are love, loving your neighbor, not hating your neighbor, your brother, so on and so forth. It establishes certain punishments for certain actions. Like if you kill somebody in cold blood, we're not including war, we're not including self-defense, because those are different actions than just going out and killing somebody in cold blood, right? Some homicide is justifiable, right? If you're protecting your family from a threat, biblically speaking, that's justifiable.
Correct. It's not murder.
Right.
It says, thou shalt not murder.
Right.
Thou shalt
And a
not
lot of
kill.
people don't know that.
Yeah.
But if you do commit murder, you just kill somebody in cold blood, the punishment for that would be that your life should be forfeit, right? So, and there are other things, adultery would carry a capital punishment, so on and so forth.
That's primarily Old Testament stuff, from my understanding.
Yeah, well, I would say that's definitely,
Which by the way, I still denounce all that, right? But from my understanding, a lot of those punishments were from the Old Testament. From my understanding.
I'll correct you and say these things are harmonious throughout the Bible, right? I'll give you, just to show you, I'll give you 3 verses, right? Numbers 35 and 33. You can get Revelation 13 and 10. First get Exodus 21 and 16 though. So I'll give you 2 in the laws of God and the Torah. Then I'll go to Revelation and show you what Jesus says about these same things. Yeah, Exodus first.
Exodus 21, verse 16.
Right? So, and just to give you a filter to or a lens to look at these things through, God is not a myopic God, right? He's not small-minded. He is more than able and willing to deal with people on an individual level, but he also deals with people as nations or as groups, different demographics, men, women, whatever the case may be, as the case is needed, right? So if there's a group doing one thing, then I will judge that group for what they did. If there's individuals doing these things, then I'll judge them as individuals, right? Go ahead.
Exodus 21, verse 16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death.
So one of the laws of God about slavery is that if you steal a man, which happened to Negroes, we'll use them specifically, stolen from one part of the world, brought to another place. It says if you steal them and then you sell them, which we were sold on auction blocks, and they're still found in your hand, which we are still in the land of our captivity, which is proof that these things happen, right? We're living amongst the people, the descendants of those things, those people are still here living together. So that's proof that this happened. It says if this happens, then the punishment for the criminals in this case would be death, right? Numbers 35 and 33.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Are those criminals still here? Are they descendants?
They're descendants. I'm gonna have to say they're descendants.
Have you looked? How deep have you actually looked into the transatlantic slave trade?
Pretty deep. Pretty deep.
Okay. Because wasn't only whites.
Of course not. Of course not. But
There's a lot of parties.
of course it was. I would say all people in the world either benefited from these things or suffered from those things, right? Go ahead.
Numbers 35, verse 33.
Bring it out.
So you shall not pollute the land wherein ye are.
This is another law of God. It says, don't pollute the land where you live. Don't shit where you sleep, right? Or shit where you eat. We can agree on that. It says, don't pollute the land where you live. Read.
For blood it defileth the land.
It says, what pollutes land is innocent blood, right? Go ahead.
And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
It says, the only way to cleanse a polluted land that has innocent blood spilled on it is by the blood of those people who spilled that innocent blood. Blood, interestingly enough, in this context, means the individual that caused it and his descendants, the bloodline, right? Give me Isaiah 14, 21. I'll show you.
Isaiah 14, verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children.
Now, there's a concept, Christianity readily believes that a man should suffer for, or should only suffer for his own sins, right? That you should not suffer for anybody else's sins. But in reality, we can see that we suffer from things in the past still today, right? These events trickle down in things like mental health issues, genetic disorders, even well, we'll leave it at that for now, right? Go ahead.
Prepare slaughter for the children, for the iniquity of their fathers.
So it says there are certain judgments that, like we said, so-called Caucasian or European people, the criminals of these acts never paid for those crimes, right? In fact, the descendants of these criminals still benefit, and the descendants of the victims still suffer in some shape or form, right? We understand that trauma can be passed down genetically. So these things which happened hundreds of years ago still have a part to play in our reality. And God says, there is still a punishment for the descendants of those criminals. All right, go ahead.
I would agree with that, because I feel like you see it happen where it's almost like people inherit the they're very similar to their parents, right?
Of course, of course.
You can tell if someone's a pure heart, et cetera, whatever, right? Some people do change, in my opinion.
Yeah. Says a man is going to be known in his children.
Yeah.
Right? Sure. So I'll give you one more. So that was all Old Testament, just to give you that perspective. We'll give you what Jesus says in the New Testament. Go ahead.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 10.
Bring it out.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Says, upon his return, where Christians worldwide are looking for the second coming of Jesus Christ, whether people believe that's going to happen or not. Says, upon his return, according to the Bible, those that, I'm sorry, read it from the top.
He that leadeth into captivity
If you lead another nation of people into slavery,
shall go into captivity.
one of the punishments is that upon his return, you have to go into slavery. Go ahead.
He that killeth with the sword
Those that murder people,
must be killed with the sword.
the punishment for that is death, right?
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
Says, and the saints of the Bible, whoever they may be, are patiently and faithfully waiting for these judgments to be fulfilled.
And they all think they're this.
Right? So just to show you that these judgments are harmonious from the front to the back of the book, right? The standard hasn't changed.
So I'm curious to hear what you think. What do you think is going to occur in end times? Because I know different different religions have different beliefs.
Of course.
Judaism has their belief.
Of course.
Elijah coming back. You have Greek that's prophesied in Islam, and obviously Christianity.
Right.
What do you think?
There's a number of things that we're looking to happen. Give me Daniel 20 or Daniel 2 and 44, Daniel 7, 18. Specifically, we're looking for a number of things to happen. Jesus coming back and then establishing heaven on earth, right? With that, every nation, at every point in time in history, whoever is ruling the majority of the world, whichever kingdom is ruling, there's a hierarchy, right? There's kings, there's citizens, there's slaves, so on and so forth. There's presidents, so on and so forth. I would say the kingdom of heaven is going to be not necessarily reflect the reality of these other kingdoms, but it will still have a hierarchy.
That makes sense. So, question, curious to hear. Open up Revelations 3:9.
Okay. I like that.
Revelations. Okay, that's okay.
I like that.
I'm not too good.
Revelation 3. Let's get that now. Revelation 3 and 9 is good.
Revelations 3 verse 9.
Read out.
Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie.
So there's a group of people that are claiming to be of the nation of Israel and are not actually bloodline descendants of them. Read.
I will make them to come and worship before thy feet.
It says he's going to make these imposters come and worship before the feet of the real Israelites.
And to know that I have loved thee.
And to know that God has loved the nation of Israel. Right?
Who made them worship Satan?
This is Jesus.
In the synagogue
It
of Satan?
says Jesus is going to make these people, one, acknowledge his love for the true Israelites, and then make them come and worship and make supplications before their feet. So that's also showing a hierarchy of.
This is I think it's like the beginning. It's like
The first part
All right,
you read.
let's
said
go
that
Daniel 2
he
and
was going
44.
to- He said, "I am going to make you worship."
It's
the
Jesus.
Synagogue of Satan.
no.
That's what it said.
They did not say it. It said those who are worshiping. Basically, those who worship and are a part of the synagogue of Satan will know that I have loved you. Essentially.
All right,
It says,
listen.
behold, I will make them
I will make them, these people,
of the synagogue of Satan,
I will make them of the synagogue, these specific people, read,
which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet.
says I'm going to make these people. Right. Go ahead, Daniel 2 and
It's the
44.
book of Daniel, chapter 2 and verse 44. In the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed.
So this kingdom of heaven coming to be established on earth, which will never be destroyed.
And the kingdom shall not be left to other people.
And rulership of this kingdom, the hierarchy, will not have to be shared with other people groups, right? Go ahead.
But it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
So the nations and kingdoms that rose and fell before this kingdom will be broken, and these people will rule the world.
So I know you stated prior that
Taking you so serious, it's funny. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
My bad.
Right.
Just talking.
Right.
Right.
Just chopping it up. I know better than you.
That's why I'm here.
They read religion. I think religion's very interesting. You know what I'm saying? Why not? You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that.
With because here's where I think me and you might potentially disagree is in the actual tribes.
Okay.
Like actual identification. Of
Yeah.
the tribes are. And I don't know if it's symbolic or if it's
Right.
metaphorical, where hey, there's a bunch of groups of people, or
That's understandable.
yeah, or it's actually like subsets of people.
Right.
I don't
Right.
know. Okay. But from my intuition, from what I've read, okay, this is what I believe. You back to the words in Christ, and you love thy neighbor. That's the best capacity. Love Christ.
Okay. I would say in God's kingdom, just like America, we can say America rules the world. Militarily, they have a grip on the world, right?
But is it okay? So I would ask a question. So is it Let me ask a question. Do you think America is representative of other people in it?
I would say they try, or they say they are, but they do not have the best interest of everyone that is a part of this nation.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
So I would agree with that, and I feel like there's a bunch of pitfalls in the political system. But primarily, there's a really big issue. This is just generally how the world works. It's like physics too, like mass accumulates, right? So the more powerful you become, it just keeps getting larger and larger and larger until it collapses in on itself, right? The system or whatever. So
On the way around.
yeah. So basically, yeah, Babylon, that is true.
yeah. You believe America is Babylon?
It might be.
I believe it is.
I feel like you call America Babylon. I mean, I don't think it's a particular nation. There's people in America.
Okay.
I think it's more symbolic, and there is people who are.
Let's say the power structure.
I mean,
Well, Kamala Harris got in power. It would be Babylon. No doubt. That was funny, and everybody knows it. Come on now. Come on.
so, well, there's pitfalls on both things.
Of course.
I mean, there's pros and cons. Who knows? But if you're a politician, you're probably someone who's But yeah, my intuition tells me America, I don't think it's representative of all people within it.
Right.
And I think it's a pitfall in all systems.
Because he takes you seriously. That's why. I was talking to you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm saying, I want to not take you seriously. What's that? I want to not take you seriously. Do you know what their plans are for you in the future?
Listen, even if it is that, it doesn't matter.
What?
It'll be fun.
Being their slave is fine with you?
Oh, listen, that's not going to happen. Okay?
Right.
That wouldn't happen.
But that's what they think is going to happen.
If they think that, they can think that.
Right.
Okay? I've already said that. I mean,
I
love my neighbor.
Take that opinion seriously.
Well, they believe that, they can believe it. Okay?
Yes.
So,
Yeah. But why take it seriously? Why be
Can
so
I ask
serious?
you how old you
Why
are?
act like they're intellectuals?
I'm 23.
You're pretty mature, bro.
I talk to
Compared to this.
I talk to people of all, like literally, like
Yeah, me too.
all intelligence levels.
Yeah.
I talk to people that are
Yeah, but if they're just saying stupid shit, why not laugh about it?
It doesn't matter. Well, what if there's validity to it? What if it's representative of a large portion of what people think?
Oh, it's not.
Right? There's a lot of people who do a lot of crazy shit.
There's about as many of them as there are.
I don't even know if the
There are
shit's-
about as many of them as there are trillions. It's about the same.
And which
Population-wise,
which one do you fall
statistically
into?
speaking, you guys are as big as the tranny movement.
Buddy. It's important. okay? So if I were you, I'd fucking jet off.
What?
I'm just
I
saying.
don't care.
Okay.
Wait. Explain this to
He
me.
doesn't care.
First of all, do you think that it hears anything that's going on over here?
I don't know.
They don't know how microphones work.
All I'm saying.
They haven't figured it out. They've been doing this for a long time, and they still haven't figured out how to actually get the audio on the video. They may not even be recording. He's just holding a camera. I don't know. I don't really care. I used to record this shit too, but it's boring.
Okay.
It's boring.
There's a.
I don't know. Okay, let's say you truly did think they're religious people. They're religious people.
About the cancel culture.
Well, listen, I don't know cancel. If you're not, you're doing good. Good on you, man. Good on you.
And you too.
Yeah, I'm just
If
saying.
you're even talking to these guys, you're risking it.
But I'm just saying, no, not necessarily.
Not anymore.
Give me a live peaceably among all men.
Trump and office didn't change much. I'm just having a cordial conversation.
People are saying it.
No, I'm just having a cordial conversation. What I'm saying is, I don't know what your situation is, man. Okay, I'm just saying.
I don't want my daughter to by these guys.
Listen, if you're all good, okay.
I don't want them to think they get to. I don't want people to think like this. It's gross.
How do you know they think that?
What's that?
How do you know they think that?
Oh, because they admitted it.
No, no.
Oh, you don't.
We believe
don't think
is
that
worthy.
white people are going to be your slaves.
We believe is worthy of capital
Yeah,
punishment.
whatever. Are
You
white
should die.
people going to be your slaves?
Yes.
Okay. What will you do with the little girls? Just curious. What you do with your slave girl?
What did I just? What was the answer I just
know
gave you?
what's up. They're
What
gonna
was
lie
the
about
answer?
it, and after you work them down, if you're serious, and you're serious. I was serious with them, and I got them to admit it, and now I'm like, fuck you, bitches.
You got which
Fuck
one?
you, bitches.
Okay.
You're pussies.
Wait, so okay, so
You just want to rape little girls.
So-
it's
so-
gross.
so-
it's pathetic. It's
let's
nasty.
talk about. So you're saying so it needs to be. So you're saying in regards to slavery. So
Yes, sir.
Why do you think whites should be enslaved?
Edomites.
Why?
Edomites.
Why?
Preach it, brother.
Why should whites? Why should whites be enslaved? Because so let's say theoretically.
Right.
Let's say theoretically, your guys' ancestors were enslaved. Let's
Jesus
say,
Christ.
or let's say we're enslaved right now. Okay,
Right.
let's say we're enslaved right now.
Right.
The job fucking sucks. I have a horrible fucking job. I show slavery. I get
Right.
paid nothing. I can't fucking pay for shit. Whatever. Okay.
Right.
Why should one else have to endure that if they're truly loving their neighbor? That'd be my.
I understand.
Okay.
I understand your point. Give me Luke 21 and 24.
They think because their ancestors supposedly were slaves, probably none of them come from slave ancestors. Probably not. But statistically speaking, probably not. They're probably like Jamaica or something.
The people in Jamaica weren't slaves
I
now.
thought Jamaica was a slave.
Yeah, definitely. You see who you're dealing with? This 23-year-old man is more mature, more intellectual, more respectful than this little gremlin.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Here's what I will say.
You know the slaves of America were sold to America by their parents. Well, their own ancestors in their own country. It's all bullshit. It's all based on bullshit. They're not Israelites. They have nothing to do with Hebrews.
The main proprietors.
You think these are Canaanite people? No, they're not Canaanite people. It's bullshit. They're full of shit. They have no idea what they're talking about. Yes, they're stupid morons who believe stupid
If that's
shit.
the case, then you're
First
wasting
of
your
all,
time
they
up
know
here.
God. That's number one.
Why don't you go do
I know
something
God. The dumbest
productive?
shit any human ever thought ever. I know God.
Why can they not know God? Why?
Who knows God? Prove you know God. So there have been so many people in so many different angles from so many
Let's
different
get how we know God.
telling me they know God, killing
1
each
John.
other over it. It is the dumbest position you can have, and very, very dangerous.
So I don't know what religious.
Very
I don't know what
dangerous.
religious background you follow.
He's an
I
atheist.
don't follow. Just ask the fucking question. Get to
You
it.
do the same shit at work. When you have a fucking idiot come up to you and he brings some shit, you ask him a bunch of questions because you keep getting to the bottom of it.
I like
you're
these
talking about.
interactions.
What I'm asking you is, I'm asking you.
Well, we'll get to the question eventually, folks.
Well, yeah, because-
Stay tuned.
because I-
Meanwhile,
because I
after
forgot.
this message,
Because I forgot, man. Because I forgot.
well, nothing I can do for you.
So Buddy, I'm fine.
I've probably been drinking.
Let's get how we know
I
God.
actually drank a lot.
1 John 2, starting at verse
drink. Forget about
4.
it.
Bring it up. Starting at verse 3.
1 John.
And hereby we do know that we know him,
This is how you know we know God,
if we keep his commandments.
because we do the things that God says. Read. Is it more on that? Yeah, keep
He
going.
that saith I know him
He that says I know God,
and keep not his commandments
but doesn't do the things that God says,
is a liar,
is a liar,
and the truth is not in
and the
him.
truth is not in him.
You didn't hear me, did you? You didn't think about what I said while I was talking.
Say that again. Say it again.
If
It wasn't
there
much
is a
thought
God,
put into what you said.
and it's not the one you chose, you are going to be in trouble if it cares. Do you understand? Jesus fucking Christ. You are all so fucking dumb. This is the simplest thing in the world. You came up with this dumb concept called, what's the fucking stupid thing? There could be a God, so, you should just believe in him. Wait, was that?
Explain prophecy.
Oh, bullshit, that's what it is. I just explained. Wait, no, good enough? But no, it's you believe dumb shit. You're all fucking dumb. Almost fucking morons everywhere. You're all contradictory idiots.
Hey.
Every one of you stupid.
Hey.
You're all stupid. He's smarter than all of you because he makes no claim to know God. All he knows is dog.
Can I ask you a question? Do you not think there's a creator?
He did it again. Why are you asking me if you can ask me?
Because
You won't let him talk.
you don't seem to accept it.
You're
You
not
won't let
good
him
at
talk.
communicating.
Hey,
You're a dumb person.
hey,
You're not smart.
I think I am dumb pretty often.
Good. Walk away. Go enjoy being dumb and forget about trying to be an intellectual.
Look,
Why pretend?
he wants to keep you
Just
away from
have
this
fun.
conversation.
Jesus fucking Christ.
So, wait, so you,
I'm not pretty enough for this. You are. Go have fun. Go have fun. Stop pretending you think.
Gay as
Oh my God! Why do you do that? Break the cycle, brainwashed. Break the cycle. Think for yourself. You have been told. What is it? 4 times now? Please don't ask me to say a question. It's so fucking stupid.
so if I
You're asking
Somebody
me a
gonna knock
question,
this dude out one
so you
day,
can
and I'm
ask
just
me a
waiting.
question.
I hope we get it on
It's
camera.
melee in the first place. It's stupid.
All right, we'll let them do that.
Oh my
Let's
God.
go Romans 3
Can I ask a question?
from the top.
Is that on logical fallacy?
What?
What I said, sir, is that
I lost patience. What?
if I listen to you,
You lost intellect. Go ahead.
Romans 3 verse 1.
Go!
What advantage then have the Jew?
What advantage is there to being a Jew or Israelite?
Or what profit is there at circumcision?
Is there any profit in being in a covenant with God?
Much every way, chiefly because that unto them were committed the oracles of God.
In every way, it's a benefit to being an Israelite, especially in relationship with God. Read.
For what if some did not believe?
There's some people that don't believe.
Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? God forbid.
Just because these people don't believe what's going on, can't see what's going on in reality, doesn't mean things are going to change because of their disbelief.
Yeah, let God be true, but every man a liar.
Let God be true, but every man a liar.
That's right.
These guys are basically doing the same shit. They don't use the same words, but they're just as dumb as you and them. You're all stupid fucking morons out here telling people to believe stupid fucking shit. All of you.
here's what I'll say.
The dum-dums listening.
Can I ask you a question?
Stupid. I'm sorry you're stupid.
If there is-
Most human beings are fucking stupid. Here, you know what? Most people will agree. Most people are, are most people stupid?
Look at how he's conducting himself
You know
compared to the people he
you
says
don't
are
know.
stupid.
You are most people. You are most people. Most people are stupid. You are most
Give
people.
me a dumb
You're
dog.
the stupid people.
Move his
I
tongue.
know God. You moron.
You're so smart.
Moron.
Uh-oh.
I'm not saying that.
Point
I'm
being
so
made.
smart. I'm saying you're so stupid. I'm not claiming an intelligent higher ground. I'm saying I can identify stupid, and I'm seeing it everywhere.
Can you identify it in yourself?
Yes.
You can?
I do all the time. At this moment,
All the time?
I'm not the one doing stupid, other
No.
than maybe wasting my time. What else do I have to
Uh-oh.
do? I'm gonna go home and work on some YouTube videos. It's taking me years and years and years to
Well, maybe you should go be productive then.
I am
Okay.
productive, bitch.
Is this
Don't
productive?
fucking tell me to go
Is-
be productive.
is
Look at
this-
your jerking off
is
on
this
the white
productive?
people with your fucking racist bullshit
Is this productive?
against them. What a
Okay.
dumb shit thing to do.
Okay.
What are you getting out of it?
Is this
Nobody's
productive?
getting anything out of what you're doing, dum-dum.
Okay.
Nobody.
Is this
Your
productive?
fro is just getting bigger. Nothing else is happening here. We're all here to watch hair grow.
Yeah.
Let's say hypothetically, what if they believe it's getting
It's too bad your microphone. Why don't you work out the microphone thing?
Well, you're the YouTube expert. Help us out.
So let's say hypothetically though. Let's say hypothetically. Right. Let's say hypothetically though. Right.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically, we become his slaves.
I never once said that. Sure. What I said is that
Where he wants to put it, right?
I said, what if he believes the best? What if
I know he does.
I appreciate that.
Believe dumb shit.
At least these motherfuckers know that we stand on what we believe
I'm
in.
sure he believes it.
I mean,
Just
why
like
else would
you believe the dumb shit you said to me about Jesus is true. You believe dumb shit.
Let's
he
read it.
believes dumb shit. I think we covered
This
this.
is the book of Proverbs,
we
chapter
covered
19
this.
and 3 in the NLT.
No! You ever
People
read
ruin
Genesis
their
2:18?
lives by their own
Proverbs
foolishness,
18 and
and
6.
then are angry at the Lord.
Adam and Eve are made from the animals, and none of
He's
them were-
suffering from his
What
own
the
life
fuck is going on
decisions,
here? Where's the
abusing
plan?
this little dog,
You
and
don't
he's
have to
mad at
read
us.
When you read, what you do is you read, and then you think later.
I might have
Go ahead.